What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Alex here from Team Generations, back again with another deck profile. This time we are looking at a list for Tachikaze. So one of my favorite clans, obviously I love Excel, love Dragon Empire. This is a really awesome deck. This is for Light Battle Dragon Gigannoblazer, I think that's how to say it, but really put Tachikaze back on the map. It's incredible how like one or two cards really fixed the entire Gaia deck and just made the clan so much more viable and for such value. Like this and like, I guess Nightmare Dolls, but it's not even that cheap, or like the Prank Kids of, if you're familiar with Yu-Gi-Oh, of Vanguard. Like you can play such a cheap deck, but if you're a proficient player and take time to actually learn this deck, like you can beat out like anybody. Like this deck can go against absolutely anybody and have a really solid chance. So overall, I'm super satisfied with what they gave us out of clan selection. I know some people are not too hot on it, but really great deck overall. So happy to bring this to you guys. Let's jump right into it. All right, and before we begin, I just wanted to give a huge shout out to all of you guys. Thank you guys so much for all the subs. Really appreciate all the love. If you are new to the channel, just checking this content out for the first time, I ask that maybe you do consider hitting that subscribe button, possibly leaving a like on the video. But also, I just want to give another quick side note. I saw a list online that I really liked. I'm going to link them down below for Checkmate Vanguard. They made a deck list for this. I thought it was really nice format and stuff. They're kind of new, so maybe go check them out. Leave a sub on them as well. Solid content. So without further ado, let's jump in. I'm not sure exactly where our lists differ at this point. I've tried a bunch of different things with this, but this is, I think, where I kind of ended up. So this is 4 of Light Battle Dragon Gigannoblazer. Its skill continues on Vanguard Circle. During your turn, if 3 or more new equip gauges were put for your units this turn, all of your front row units get an additional 5k. Its second skill, act on Vanguard Circle once per turn. Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, draw 2 cards and call 2 cards from your hand to rearguard circle. Put up to 1 card from the top of your deck face down as an equip gauge for each one of those units. So really nice overall. This is, I feel like, a big solve for what we were lacking in Gaia. First off, this is like an amazing first ride because you are drawing 2 cards, calling 2 cards down, just filtering, getting those equip gauges off. On top of that too, like Gaia, you really needed your opponent to be on grade 3, I believe, to give it that extra little power buff that it needed. Instead of the 5k, you would have gotten the 10k, but this guy with the 5k is not too bad at all. There's other cards that kind of power up as well. The cycle, though, is like the main reason why this is good. Like drawing 2 cards, calling 2 cards. You're going to call 2 cards anyway. You might as well have added equip gauges for them and just, you know, gone like a net neutral overall. So the filter is so good. I feel like my hand size is always pretty decent in this deck. A lot of multi-attack also kind of enabled off of this guy because he's putting those equip gauges on there. A lot of your rear guards kind of do that, so I'll get into that in just a little bit, but really solid card overall. That filter is huge. I mean, this is a card that reads but plays really well, so I definitely suggest you try it out. And again, this deck is so cheap, so if you want a solid competitive deck, check it out. But speaking of Gaia, we are still running him in this deck. This is kind of breathing some new life into a 50-cent Vanguard rare, so definitely happy about that. So this is Emperor Dragon Gaia Emperor. Its continuous skill on Vanguard Circle. During your turn, all of your rear guards with equip gauge get an additional 5k. If your opponent is on grade 3 or greater, they get an additional 10k instead of 5. Its second skill, auto on Vanguard Circle. When it attacks, counterblast 1 and retire a rear guard, and this unit gets the original attack and the attack of the unit retired for this cost until the end of that battle. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, it gets the additional crit as well. So nice to pressure, just get that little extra attack from the unit you are retiring, giving all of your units an additional 10k. This also enables a multi-attack too, because you are retiring something, and when you do that, chances are you're going to pop something off, which enables you to kind of call a card from an equip gauge. I'll show you a little bit later, but overall, this, like I said, this card definitely deserves a spot in the deck now. Kind of came back to life. It's nice as a second ride target. Definitely don't want to go into this first. I feel like it gets kind of clunky and just runs into some of the same old problems as it had beforehand, but complements them very well. I think at 3 of, you see it often enough because you are drawing and cycling in this deck quite a bit, so not too bad running that at a 3 of. That is actually it for the grade 3. I'm not running that other grade 3 support card that came out for Gaia. I just found that it wasn't as effective, I think, as some other choices that we chose to include in this deck. So we're moving into the grade 2. We're looking at this new card. This is, oh god, let's see if I can say this right. Extortion Dragon Spino Extort. Yeah, a lot of extortion there. Its skill, auto on Vanguard rearguard circle. When it attacks a Vanguard, counterblast 1, retire another rearguard, draw a card, and call up to 1 card from the equip gauge of that unit retired for this cost to rearguard circle. Put the top card of your deck face down as an equip gauge for that unit called. So doing pretty much everything we want to do in the deck. This is kind of like the Mega Rex, except it doesn't power itself up. This really just kind of enables another multi-attack, which is fine because if you're on Gaia, I mean, you already have like powerful, once it has an equip gauge, it will become powerful as is. Even the Gigannoblazer too, like, you know, you're powering yourself up your front row by 5k, so overall enables a multi-attack, gets that draw into hand. And yeah, really just solid. Like, we always want to see this card on the field. I will say the Counterblast is a little heavy sometimes. Like, we do run into some Counterblast issues, but so long as you pace yourself right, there is no big deal in this. That's no, like, you know, big hang up really. Moving right along into our next grade 2, we are looking at Ravenous Dragon Megarex. Still running 4 of these, an oldie but goldie. This guy's skill, auto on Van or Rearguard Circle. When it attacks the Vanguard, cost, retire another Rearguard and draw a card. This unit is on Rearguard Circle, Counterblast 1. Put the top card of your deck face down as an equip gauge for this unit and gets an additional 5k until the end of turn for each one of this unit's equip gauges. So the Counterblast skill is optional. It really comes down to the fact that this is a retire and you get to draw a card. So in this deck, basically retiring a Rearguard with an equip gauge equates to like a multi-attack in some form. It's not as multi-attack. You can't get like a 2 multi-attack or a 2 replace like you can off of Spino Extort, but still really solid because it is essentially costless to draw, and you know, you are enabling that multi-attack. But the cost, Counterblast 1, that skill with the additional 5k can help you close out games. Like, sometimes, you know, you whittle their hand down. If you swing with this last, you can enable, like I said, the multi-attack, but you can also make this guy really, really powerful. So overall, still a super solid card. Try this out. Again, just watch out for the Counterblast. This deck definitely is Counterblast heavy. Just make sure that you're pacing yourself correctly and setting yourself up for potentially next turn, because your hand size is pretty big in this deck. Like, you definitely last a lot longer than expected. Next up, this is like a secret MVP of the deck. We are still running 4 of Regiment Dragon Regliodon. Its skill, auto on Van or Rearguard Circle. When it attacks, you may put the top card of your deck face down as an equip gauge for one of your Rearguards, so you can do it for this guy as well. Its second skill, auto when retired from Rearguard by your card's ability, call up to 1 card from this unit's equip gauge to Rearguard Circle. You may put the top card of your deck face down as an equip gauge for that unit, and this ability may only be used with the card of the same name once per turn. So this card, like I said, you know, you swing with this, you basically equip to an equip gauge, and then if you pair it with, what was it, this guy over here, essentially what you can do is get like 2 multi-attacks off. So you swing with 2 other, one of the rear guards, swing with him. You're going to give yourself, if you already have an equip gauge on him, give yourself another one. You're going to retire it with this guy's effect, and then his effect goes off too. So you're calling 2 cards from its equip gauge. Could be really, really effective overall, just getting you those extra attacks. Like, this deck is sneaky in that way. So yeah, running that at a 4 of, definitely a necessary card. Moving on to our final grade 2. I'm just running 2 of these. This is Zealous Horn Dragon. What is it? Dilophorio? Pyro? I don't know. Anyway, its skill. In frame. Its skill, auto on Van or Rearguard Circle. When placed from hand, cost Counterblast 1, draw a card, and call a card from your hand to Rearguard Circle. You may put the top card of your deck face down as an equip gauge for that unit. So its skill, when placed from an equip gauge, second skill, on Rearguard Circle. When placed from an equip gauge, this unit gets an additional 10k until the end of turn. So this card actually pairs really well with the grade 1 that we received in this deck. So I think that we don't need to max this out anymore. The Counterblast 1 to draw a card is a nice little, you know, ride target, and you could Soul Blast this out if you want to, and then pair it with that grade 1 to attach it to something else to come out and give it that additional 10k. On top of that too, if you are on Gaia, this guy becomes a 29k beater. It could potentially become a 34 if you're on an Excel too. So really versatile card. I think that the drop zone became a little bit more of a toolbox in general because of this grade 1, but not too much in general. I think running this at a 2 of is pretty healthy. You can bump this down to 1 if you really want to, but I think at 2 of, I see it often enough that I am very satisfied with it. So solid card. Again, just draw power and whatnot. All right, yeah, enabling that multi-attack. But moving into the grade 1s, we're looking at 4 of Prison Bird. This is just the standard grade 3 searcher, 4 standard, so, or V premium I should call it. I'm always screwing that up these days. But continuous on Van or Rearguard Circle. If a new equip gauge was placed this turn, this guy gets an additional +5. On its second skill is the typical grade 3 searcher. When placed from hand, you look at the top 5 of your deck, add a grade 3 to hand. If you added a grade 3, we then have to discard a card from our hand. So not too bad, filtering out, getting that grade 3. You really want to have our ride chain set up properly on grade 3. Like, you do want to go into your new Vanguard first for the Gigannoblazer, and then go into Gaia. So this can help with that. That's really the main purpose of it. It is a nice beater too. Like, if you put this on an additional Rearguard Circle, it becomes like an 18k beater. If you put a new equip gauge this turn, which you're going to do pretty much every single turn. On top of that, you know, if Gaia is your Vanguard, you can then make this 28k beater off just the grade 1 searcher. So not too bad overall. Moving on to our next grade 1. This is seriously a super solid card. Really helps you with your multi-attack and making you cherry pick what you really need and just having like an effective multi-attack combo. So this is Savage Shooter, the new card out of clan selection. Its skill: auto on Vanguard circle. When placed, Soul Blast 1, draw a card, and call a card from your hand to rearguard circle. Put the top card of your deck face down as an equip gauge for that called unit. Its second skill: act on rearguard circle. Cost: rest this unit and put a card from your drop zone face down as an equip gauge for one of your rearguards without any equip gauge. So this really allows you to cherry pick what you want to put from your drop zone onto another unit who potentially is going to get retired, who is potentially going to enable another multi-attack. So very, very solid. I mean, definitely a 4 of in this deck. Definitely need to be running it. That first skill too is really nice with the filter, you know, Soul Blast 1 out, draw that card. Just filter is always good, and you're adding a card with an equip gauge, so it can enable your Prism Bird for a pretty aggressive grade 1 turn if that's the way you want to go for it. So, and you could do that too, because this isn't like a counterblast card. So very nice for conserving your resources for late game. And then last up, again, secret MVP of the deck. This is pretty much a copy of the pink grade 2. I forgot the name off the top of my head, but this is Darting Dragon Blue Sprint. Its skill: auto on Vanguard rearguard circle. When it attacks, you may put the top card of your deck face down as an equip gauge for one of your rearguards. Its second skill: auto when retired from rearguard circle by your card's ability, call up to one card from this unit's equip gauge to rearguard circle. You may put the top card of your deck face down as an equip gauge for that unit, and this ability may only be used by a card with the same name once per turn. So again, you swing with this guy first. It can be pretty powerful if you're on a guy a turn. Even if you're not, like, you know, you're on an Excel 2, you know, you pop this guy down. This is going to be at least an 18k beater with the Gigannoblazer. So very effective overall. Again, allowing you to multi-attack, because when this is retired off of potentially the grade 2, the Spino Extort, like, you can call 2 additional rearguard multi-attacks. So very, very nice. Definitely need to run this out of 4 of. And overall, I mean, this deck is pennies. You could probably build this thing for, like, outside of the Prism Birds, you could probably build this for the entirety of it. Maybe, I want to say under like 30 bucks. Like, definitely. Prism Birds right now are expensive, but maybe they'll go down in the future by the time you are watching this video. So maybe you already have them, but yeah. Moving into our trigger lineup, then we are running a very classic, just 4-8-4. We're running 4 draw, 8 crit, and 4 heal. Nothing too crazy. Fronts aren't terrible in the deck, but the thing is, you are multi-attacking, you're getting rid of your units, and they're not really seeing that front by the time you're really swinging. I feel like you're putting more pressure on them, making them guard from hand in precarious situations if you have those crits on there. So this deck is, like I said, super sneaky. So long as you can wrap your mind around it, you know, you put a few games practicing on this, like, you have a chance against absolutely any deck. And a lot of people are confused on like what this deck kind of does. They don't see your multi-attack patterns right off the bat unless they really know the deck. So obviously running a starter too, by the way. I feel like the crits just definitely apply that pressure that we need. Again, if we hit the PGs early in the game, helps us gain a little bit of hand advantage. Just a very, very nice deck overall. And like I said, put it together for pennies. Super, super competitive. So yeah, let's get into a test stand. I'll show you guys how the deck kind of plays out and maybe my iteration of, yeah, just how I play it. All right, let's shuffle up and get started over here. Overall, this is not an easy deck to play. You're definitely gonna have to log a few games on it. I think that once you do that though, you're gonna have a great time with it. You're gonna be super competitive, and maybe Vanguard isn't your main game. You play Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, whatever the case may be, Pokemon even. You know, if you want to hop into this game and not spend a lot, like, this is such a good option. Like I said, if you're coming from Yu-Gi-Oh, this is like the prank kids of Yu-Gi-Oh in terms of just like value, but still competitiveness. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, let's see what we get in my hands. Got that. We are missing a grade 1, so I'm gonna put back. It's kind of tough. I really want this card, but I want to get that grade 1, so I'm gonna mulligan a little bit aggressively here. I'm gonna put back 3. Let's see if I get a grade 1. 1, 2. All right, we do, and 3. All right, no big deal. This is still a solid hand overall. Let's shuffle up again. Let's see if I can play clean with no misplays in this. All right. Stand and draw. I'm just going to pretend we go first like we do in all of our test hand videos. We're going to ride and draw off of the ride there. All right. I don't think there's anything else I can really do this turn. Nope. Let's pass it over to my opponent. Boom. Of course, we get that heal early. All right. Stand and draw for my grade 2 turn now. What do I want to do? Don't want to really, I don't want to do this whole thing off. Nah, you know what? I'm going to ride this right here. And I'm actually going to call down. Yeah, let's do this. All right, so I'm going to pressure here. I'm going to, before that, I'm going to activate this guy's effect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope, no grade 3. Dang it. Okay, no big deal. Maybe we'll hit the Gaia otherwise, but I got the Gigannoblazer in hand, so a lot of draw power there. Yeah. Yeah, let's do it. All right, I'm gonna swing for 8s. New equip gauge was not placed. We want to retire for the draw off of this guy, so I'm gonna do that. We can't activate the second skill, which is no big deal, but I am gonna retire this guy and then draw a card. I am going to, when it attacks, right? Yeah, when it attacks, then I'm gonna swing, get the crit trigger. All right, drive check, hopefully the crit trigger. Pass it over to my opponent, then I'm going to take a damage. 1, draw, take 2. Boom. All right, wow, crit city. I mean, trigger city. Jeez, why do I keep calling triggers crits? All right, stand and draw for my grade 3 turn. All right, cool. We did get the guys. So we have the nice ride chain for next turn. We're going to get the Excel marker. Gonna go here. Actually, I have a Tachi one. Let's look at my Tachi one. All right, I have it in here somewhere. I have a ton of these. I just didn't put it in this stack. All right, getting the official Angerblader. Gonna draw off of that. All right, cool. Pretty diverse hand over here. So let me break it down for myself really quickly. What do I want to do first? So I'm gonna place him on, no, actually, yeah, you know what, let's activate this guy first. Let's Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1. Do I have anything good? Yeah, I'm actually gonna do that. You wanna make sure you Soul Blast what you wanna potentially recall because of the grade 1 that can cherry pick from your drop zone, so just be cognizant of that. But I Soul Blast 1, I'm gonna draw 2 cards, call 2 cards down. All right, what am I gonna call? I'm gonna call down, where'd it go? Oh, there it is. I'm gonna call down 1, and I'm gonna call down, yeah, I'm gonna call down 2. Anything else I wanna do here? Yeah, let's call down him. I'm gonna hold everything else, I think, yeah. I'm gonna hold on everything, yeah. All right, so let us see, let's swing here. I'm going to, oh, I'm sorry, I'm doing a equip gauge for each one of these, skill 1. And these ones are placed, I think, face down, so you don't really know what they are, just a heads up based on his skill, the last part of the text. So I'm then going to swing with him. He's going to be 13, 3 or more equip gauges, right? Yeah, this is going to be 3 or more equip gauges. So I'm going to equip this guy onto here, just because he's going to be able to double call. So I'm going to put 2 on there. This guy is going to be 13 because 3 equip gauges. The whole front row gets +5. Boom. I'm going to swing with him next. Going to use his thing to call an equip gauge. This one I think you can look at. It doesn't say, you know, face down, whatever, like you can't look. Then I'm going to, do I want to swing with him first? Nah, let's swing with him and then see what we can get. Yeah, because we're gonna get 2 other attacks. All right, so I'm going to swing with him, going to Counterblast 1, retire a rear guard. Now I'm gonna retire him. Now I'm gonna look at these guys. So what do I have? All right, cool. So I'm gonna call out 1 and 2 here. I am then going to, yeah, let's see. I'm gonna retire. Upon retiring him too, I can also call out, I think this was the gauge for, yeah, this was the gauge for, actually there was no gauge on that one. Nah, there was no gauge on that one, so I can't do that, but I could have created like another booster there. Put an equip gauge for each one of these. This is face down, blah, 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 blah. Face down is an equip gauge, whatever. I'll just say I don't look at these. All right, 1 and 2. Yeah, so this guy attacks, then I get to draw a card too, I believe. Right, yep, top card, eject, draw a card, yeah, draw a card. All right, and yeah, so now I set myself up for another 2 attacks there. I'm going to swing with him. Go 1, 2, let's go power and draw, because this guy is already like a, what is that, 5, 18. Yeah, this is already a 23k attacker, right? 5 from himself, 5 from the equip gauge, right? And then, yeah, 5 from the, or 5 from him, not the equip gauge, and then 5 from the Excel 2 circle. So yeah, I'm gonna put it on him, which becomes a 27k attacker. That's a 23k attacker. So even if my opponent did hit a defensive trigger, I can still threaten for a hit at least. So let's go here, let's go there. Did I draw off of the, no, I did not. Off the draw trigger? No, I didn't. All right, cool. Or at least I think I didn't, but yeah, that's generally how you wanna play the deck. Again, next turn I'll probably go into the guy, you know, it's just gonna take 1 more damage, whatever, 2 more damage, dump some stuff from my hand, bunch of triggers, 1, 2, 3. Next turn I would go into the guy, pretty much. I don't have a Gigannoblazer, no. Get another thing, draw. I'm gonna kind of speed through this one, but essentially you just want to be retiring things, just recall, have a really powerful multi-attack. Guy is nice on that second turn just to get that really powerful multi-attack. And you see how my hand is pretty large. I feel like I would have been really in control of the game overall. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comments any questions you have, any suggestions for the deck. Did I misplay anything here? It's kind of speeding through it. I have a couple of these things to record today, so I'm sorry if it was a little bit fast. But yeah, thank you guys again so much. And this is Alex from Team Generations signing out.